from beautiful, historic Ashtabula Harbor, like always, Wednesday night, just a little later in the evening, thanks to youth football that I coach. But nonetheless, I am Ryan with my grand, wonderful amigo, Sam Torres, the voice of 4401 Goal. How you doing tonight, Sam?
Well, it's Wednesday night. We get to talk about some high school football, so it's a good night for me. It has been a little bit hotter than I appreciate, and I can't wait for it to cool down. I hope that gets everybody all fired up.
Yeah. Well, no, it hasn't. It's humid. It's been a little bit smoky and steamy today.
Yeah.
Whatever you may want to call it. Not terribly hot, but it's been warm. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Real quick, just get it out of the way. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. If you're over on Facebook, follow, like, and share, I do believe it is. And we're on Twitch, but I don't know what to tell you if you're watching on Twitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do know this.
No idea.
This week we hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube page finally. So really pretty happy with that.
Yep.
We're finally going to be in the position now where the stuff we put on YouTube is going to be monetized. We hit 1K. Let's see if we can hit 2K a little bit faster. Make sure you get out there. You're sharing the feed, letting all your friends know to go to our YouTube page and hit the like and subscribe button. It's as simple. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account.
Yes.
So
and I don't, even if you have an iOS device or an Apple device, I do believe you have it. I'm pretty sure you have a Gmail account at some point in time.
Yeah. And if not, it takes about 3 seconds.
Yeah. And log in, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. That way, when we do go live, you know when we're live, just like the 11 people watching right now. So
yeah.
But tonight, we do have a little bit of an action-packed, in a way, I think it's going to be not short, but it's going to be a lot of information crammed into one, like always. So we're going to, just a quick rundown tonight, we're going to be the 4 to watch over at Lakeside, as well as the 4 to watch over at St. John, as well as their key matchups. That's going to be a big thing this evening. We did it last week with Edgewood and...
Last week was Edgewood and...
I don't know this.
Oh, my God. Jefferson.
Yeah, Edgewood and Jefferson. This week is going to be Lakeside and St. John. And next week, I don't know who it is just yet. But by process of elimination, there's only 4 schools left. So
next week, I can tell you, it's on our itinerary right in front of you.
Where?
That would be Geneva and Conneaut going to be on the... going to be up for next week. But this
Great
week,
news. I still don't know how to read.
This week we're going to be covering the Lakeside Dragons and the St. John Heralds. 2 teams that had very, very different seasons last year.
Yeah.
So, I am looking forward to it. One team is very, very young, and one team is bringing back quite a few veterans.
Yeah, quite a few vets. And, the other team, I mean – we'll get. I don't want to go. I mean, we could dive right into that and talk for the next hour, but let's not say we do. Let's start our opening banter just like we always do. So, Sam, how was your weekend?
So the weekend was cool. Got down here to the Wine and Walleye Festival 2022. One of the cool things is we got to park right here in front of Maiden, Ohio, and walk around and do our version of Beer Money is what the game show is called, where you go around and we handed out some cash money to a couple lucky people who got some trivia questions right. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I think people genuinely enjoyed it. I think you can look forward to seeing that also in maybe some upcoming fairs like the Ashtabula County Fair or even the Grape Jamboree. Not dedicating yet, but that is something you can definitely look forward to potentially seeing. The way it worked, we walked around, grabbed somebody, said, "Hey, are you interested in doing some Ashtabula or Lake trivia?"
By the way,
cash?
folks, I'm sorry to interrupt you. When you see us, don't be afraid to talk to us. There's a lot of people that stared at me because I'm walking around awkwardly. I can't show you the tripod because we're using it, but this 7-foot-tall tripod, and everybody just looking at me like I got spinners on the tripod.
Riding spinners.
Right. But if we're down there covering stuff and you want to be part of it, just, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And how can I help?
Or a simple, a simple wave. We'll bring you over. Don't just jump in the middle of our our broadcast. I will say that.
Yeah, they'll still do it. It doesn't matter. You can try to make that change, but it won't. But.
No, but it was fun. You know, we got to eat some delicious walleye down here. Got some great lemonade, which is one of my favorites. I didn't end up getting a sausage sandwich.
No sausage.
I didn't get a sausage. You know, I got one at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. I got one there. So that's my only. I guess if you're at the Wine and Walleye Festival, you got to eat the walleye. Which we went to the FOP booth to get ours, and
right there.
The sandwiches were great. It was just a great event, and a lot of people down here, a lot of great vendors. It was a really cool event down here, and I think there was like a boat parade or something.
Yeah,
right?
Boat parade, fireworks in the evening. Really a nice event. That's I think it's on it. What, 6th year? I'm not sure.
I wish I could tell you.
But the way it's put together, you think that the city of Ashtabula has been running it for about 40. So it's really well put together. Next year, I'm assuming it's about the middle or end of July there, like 3rd week, whatever it may be every year. But make sure you guys stop down and check it out. A lot of awesome vendors. All the vendors, the benefit of all the vendors are they're all local businesses in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to see, I don't know, Walmart down here as a vendor.
Yeah. They didn't have a booth for Amazon down here.
Yes.
But I think they have another one coming up as well, very similar. It's the Perch and Pilsner Festival, maybe in Conneaut, coming up.
Is that okay?
Yeah, so that's another one. If that's up there, boy, we got to get up to Conneaut. We haven't gotten us some breakwall in a long time.
No,
I think it's about time we get out to the breakwall because, man,
that's a great restaurant.
Best Brussels sprouts I've ever eaten in my life.
You would compliment the. I mean,
they're
come on.
delicious.
I'm not saying like. Breakwall you're watching. I'm not knocking your Brussels sprouts, but of all the things to cover and say that was great, you pick Brussels sprouts.
If you don't like Brussels sprouts, if you get them at Breakwall, you will like Brussels sprouts. I'm just saying that. They were delicious. They throw
I remember the first
bacon
time I
in there.
lied.
There's some bacon in there. They cook. There's like honey in there. Oh, yeah. Come on. Listen, we're going to Breakwall at some point this week.
So, obviously, yes, Sam's weekend indulged down here on Bridge Street. Basically, is what it came to. Mine, too, Saturday. Sunday was just a chill day, which was nice. It really was. Football, goes through the week, and it's always hectic Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, can't wait. I mean, I can't wait for Fridays to kick off for football, but we got, about another 3 weeks, right? Somewhere in there. Today's the 27th.
From tomorrow, from 18, Thursday,
21,
is
3
days.
weeks. Yeah, 21 days. Yeah,
and we will be. That's when we are going to be kicking off at Edgewood. As they head in, they will be facing off against the Conneaut Spartans for the Ashtabula County's oldest rivalry to kick off the season. Some other game going on that night. St. John High School will be hosting Newton Falls, who is a new opponent they added to their schedule this year.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun matchup, especially what you were telling me about with your travels with work. With them. They paint the town in tiger stripes is what Sammy was saying.
If you have never been to Newton Falls, it is something to be seen. They have an area that is similar to Bridge Street. And it's, they are the Newton Falls Tigers, and the entire Bridge Street has huge murals, tiger stripes. There's a pizza joint down there called Tiger Pizza. So it's I'm really looking forward to, we will obviously be covering the Edgewood Conneaut game, but seeing how that goes for the St. John Heralds, that's a tall task for them early on in the year.
Yeah. It's gonna be, and unfortunately we don't really have much information on Newton Falls.
3 wins last year.
Yeah, other than their wins. Yeah, but 3 wins. But we will get into that. But it looks like we're going to hit the Made in Ohio minute that quick. Or we?
Yeah, we got to go Made in Ohio because they got some good stuff they want to talk about. And you know what? As we're down here, I can tell you they still got some wine and walleye gear down here. Yeah. And that is really, really cool. I think it's 2. There might be 3 different designs. But without further ado.
No idea what he's saying. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Without further ado, we're going to go to the man. That man is named Tyler. And are we going?
Yeah, okay. Made in Ohio. Oh, wrong button. I'm sorry.
Boy.
MIO minute. I hit the wrong button.
There you go.
There we are. Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm Tyler. Nice to see you this evening. Jazzed, as always, to be here with Ryan and Sammy. The half-off special we got going over here at our front rack right by the register. Got our lovely leftover wine and walleye merch. Some other few assorted hidden gems. You got to do some digging. You might find yourself a diamond. Want to give a big shout-out to our team at Softball City. Free Smoke Made in Ohio. for bringing home that #1 ranking. You guys did a hell of a job. We are proud to sponsor you. We just want to see you take it home again in the tournament. We're looking forward to that coming up. Also, it is getting closer and closer to fall sports season, so just a heads up to everybody out there. Any of you would like some custom merchandise to, proudly represent your child, whatever sport they may be participating in, come on down. We'd be more than glad to help you out. Also looking forward to, our upcoming work with several of the local schools. So apart from that, I want to thank the guys again, as always, for giving us an opportunity to be on the show. We're proud to have you down here. And back to you guys.
All right, let's hit that button, see if it works the way it's supposed to. There it is.
And that was Tyler King with the Made in Ohio Minute. Again, I gush over these guys every time we talk about them, but I really can't say enough good about these. These are homegrown guys. This is a homegrown business doing quality work. If you need to get something personalized, whether it's a T-shirt, a koozie, you got graduations that if you got a grad party that still haven't happened, you got what's the other thing? When class comes back together, a reunion. You need some vinyl work done. Come on, get it from these guys. They're going to take care of you. They're going to get it done, quickly with a great design, and everything holds up very, very well. If you want to see what they look like in person, come down to one of our events, because that's where the banners are coming from. We're big proponents of take care of the hometown, and they'll take care of you. And Made in Ohio certainly takes care of the hometown.
Yes, they do. Sorry, I'm making a few adjustments so Sammy doesn't go nuts here. So I think that might be better. I don't know. He says we're a little dark, but we're going to figure it out one way or another. It's a little brighter on my side.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. But so let's go right into Tyler had just announced. Let's see if I can click the right button here.
Yeah, softball city roundup.
Yeah, a little roundup. I'll let the skip through that. Sorry, not technical difficulties. I'm just not clicking buttons the right way, and I forgot where I put stuff. There's no other way to put it. But so this year's slow pitch softball regular season champs down there at Softball City is going to be Free Smoke Made in Ohio. So congratulations to those guys down there. Really, 17-1?
Yeah, 17-1 they go this year during the regular season. If you watched last week's top 10 roundup, Mr. Vance on that team right there wearing the purple, he's the one who hit that boomer shot all the way into the outfield. This is just a team made up of some real heavy-duty softball players. These guys can hit, they can field. I don't know that they played a full game with very many teams all year, to be honest with you. 17 wins, and they probably averaged about a 4-inning game. Because they were getting it done and getting it done quite early. That is the regular season, so they're getting that regular season win, but they'll be playing through the playoffs against. There's still a lot of great competitive teams down there. D-Gents, Harbor Tattoo right there, Diamond Hustle. Making a run there as well. So this tournament is going to be definitely fun to watch. As those results come in, we will definitely get them out. We don't have results from this last Sunday because we didn't get them, but we will release those as soon as we do get them. But yeah, keep track. Keep up here. We'll let you know who the champion is. We do have some not cool news. Some in This Is the End. Not chill. I got something not chill to say.
What do you
unfortunately,
know that I don't
this
right
weekend we were set to play in the all-night tournament. We were going to have a team, but with the fact that we don't have a team together, means we can't play.
Makes it difficult.
We got a couple guys that can't play, and we were unable to find any girls. So I don't know. Maybe if they do another tournament in the fall, we'll see if we can get one together for that. Put it together on a Saturday night. But unfortunately, me and Ryan can't be the only two out there, so that's all. But we will get down there, try and grab some pictures and stuff like that, and you'll see our face eventually down there. So good luck to everybody playing in the all-night tournament, and we'll see who wins that one.
All right, and one more good shout-out to this one here is the 9 through 11-year-old Ashtabula All-Star Girls Softball. They did unfortunately lose last night. I don't even know who they played. I hate to say that, but they still ended up with the state final runners up. listen, it's end of July, almost August. These girls been playing baseball or softball since what's it?
May?
Yeah. Something like that, May, June, somewhere in there. I mean, they've been really rolling. But I have to give a special shout-out, especially my dear friend, daughter, Eliana Frazier. Good job, girls. Good job to them all. It's really fun to watch, and hear about you guys. I kept watching this past 2 weeks, so I couldn't wait for your mother to put stuff on Facebook so I could grab it. So I do have to give a special shout-out to them. Congratulations. Hold your head up high. You guys did Ashtabula really, really proud. Really proud.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet thing. Anytime you're getting to play those extra games, it's because you earned it. You earned that, and
right.
It's an honor to get to play those. But there is no disappointment quite like that last game disappointment.
Yeah.
So keep your head up, girls. Keep your chin up. Nothing to be down about.
Nope.
You guys did an absolutely phenomenal job. You guys did something that I think it was the first time in like 15, 20 years or something.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
been a long time. You did something that a lot of girls in your age bracket haven't done, so congratulations and kudos to all of you. And you know what the great thing is it's between 9 and 11, so some of those girls will be right back next year. So, get out there, keep playing softball out here is absolutely huge.
Yep. All right, guys, as you guys hear a little bit of music in the background, we are going to take ourselves a quick sponsored break. Head that way. Stay tuned. Again, we're going to be reviewing Lakeside, the 4 to watch over there, and St. John's 4 to watch, as well as reviewing 3 of their key matchups this year. So
yeah, when we come back, we're going to be doing St. John Heralds football when we come back from our sponsors.
We'll be right back. Made in Ohio. Made in Ohio specializes in screen printing, dye sublimation, embroidery, and vinyl graphics. Their prices are the lowest in the area. They have no minimum order size, no setup charges, and no screen charges. Stop in and see for yourself. Made in Ohio is located in the beautiful, historic Ashtabula Harbor. Visit them at 1028 Bridge Street or call 440-992-9057. Play All Awards and Engraving. Awards, they do them all at Play All. Play All offers a full line of acrylics, desk accessories, plaques, sports awards, and more. A staple of Ashtabula County, Play All has been in service since 1993, helping the likes of educators, coaches, and individuals just like you. You can visit Play All at 4542 Main Avenue in beautiful downtown Ashtabula, Ohio, or call them at 440-992-7529 with any questions.
For Owen Goal welcomes in-combine sponsor from Allstate Kristen Dobbins-Beck-Barger. Kristen and her team offer auto, home, renters, and various other insurance policies. Visit Kristen at 4605 Main Avenue in beautiful Ashtabula, Ohio, or contact Kristen at 440-993-0256.
Are you a small business looking for a way to advertise locally? You have a problem? 440 Goal has a solution. Advertise with us. 440 Goal can create custom advertisements like you see here. What better platform than 440 Goal to advertise with? 440 Goal will be awarding a $500 football and $500 volleyball scholarship to a local senior this year. Getting in touch with 440 Goal is easy. You can reach us on Facebook and Instagram by simply messaging us. Or you can also email us at 440goal@gmail.com. Don't wait, spots are filling. Again, message 440goal on Facebook or Instagram, or email us at 440goal@gmail.com for all the details. All right, welcome back. The side jokes while you guys are at commercial. You guys are watching the ads, but we're still here, I promise you. Yeah, but thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Ryan, if you are, and my partner, the voice of 440 Goal, Sam Torres. We're getting ready to go hot.
It's football time, baby.
Into some football talk. Week 2, getting into Lakeside and St. John. Let me bring it up here. Wait, Sam, you made a nice little 4 to watch. Let me click that button. It only takes a second. Yeah, my thing. Never mind.
We're going to start with the 4 players that, if you're watching St. John football this year, you need to keep your eyes on these guys because they are going to make a difference on this team. So we'll start with the fact that St. John has a tough year last year. They do go 0-10.
Yeah.
Some closer games. Their schedule is one that's going to change every year as they are new. They are new in the NAC, so they've been newly added to the conference NAC. But as we said earlier, they do pick up Newton Falls this year. That's going to be their opener. But some of the guys that you need to keep your eyes out. We talked about one team that we're going to cover tonight is going to be veteran heavy. One team is going to be young heavy. St. John is going to be the young heavy team. Coming up this year, they are going to fill a hole that they've had trouble filling for the last couple of years, and that's on the offensive line. And that is going to be on the shoulders of offensive lineman, defensive lineman Donald Crawford. He's a freshman coming up to play for the St. John Heralds. And I know what you're thinking. He's a freshman. How much of a difference maker could he possibly make on the offensive line especially?
Yeah.
But this is a kid who has played youth league football. He has played junior high football. There's a lot of football behind him, and he's got a great amount of size, a great amount of strength, and a great amount of football IQ. And those are the things that are going to translate and help give the St. John running backs, quarterbacks, and wide receivers even a little bit of time to actually perform some offense.
Yeah, tall kid, lengthy kid. Is really going to help bolster that offensive line and really, with the schools that they play, he should be a force up there on the defensive line at a bare minimum. Plugging holes, making it tough for teams like Wyndham or Fairport to run on them. At least they're probably going to run away from them than run towards them. So it is exciting to see him, especially as a freshman player that's been playing for quite a few years, coming up, like Sam said, coming up through the ranks of. I think he played over at Buckeye, but I'm not 100%
well, no,
sure.
He played some time in Geneva.
Did he?
He played some time over at Lakeside.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what it comes down to, he's got the youth football experience, junior high experience.
Yeah,
he's got great size.
I mean, he's a greenhorn coming in the freshman status-wise, but
right.
he already has some experience of football. And he knows what it is to play the game. So it's very exciting to hear that coming out, especially out of St. John. It's
yeah, and if you're Coach Delgosh, that's what, one of the things that they've needed for a couple of years is, they needed some size on the line, and he fulfills that. The fact that he's got some good football IQ behind him is all the better. It's cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah.
So that's something that they're going to look forward to. We one of the things we've tried to talk about with every team is that offensive line, because what we've learned is how important that truly is, and especially with St. John, who I believe is going to be doing a little bit a little bit different on offense this year than typical. They may be running a little bit more, wing T, Maryland I, that sort of thing this year.
Yeah.
So the linemen are going to play a huge part.
Yeah, we don't want to give away too much information,
Yeah.
but moving right on into the second one. And this one's interesting for me, just talking to Sammy a little bit. And I got him at, Vin Narducci. He was a previous O-lineman, but you got him at tight end? D-line? That's going to be, that's an interesting move. Obviously, the ranks over there at St. John, you kind of get in where you fit in.
Absolutely.
The way that one works over there. But moving from O-line to tight end, DN, which I'm sure playing O-line, he played defensive line as well. That's going to be an interesting move. Narducci had 28 sacks. I'm sorry, man. If he had 28 sacks,
man,
woo!
You ain't kidding, buddy.
28 tackles on the year last year. Up and coming guy for St. John as a sophomore rolling in. So it's going to be fun to watch him and see what his talent does for the Heralds over there.
Yeah. So Vin Narducci is somebody, he started on the line, but as a freshman playing on the line. But what happens is as the sophomore year is coming, he has started to get taller and thinner, and he's always been an athlete. So, they're gonna move him from the offensive line. He's gonna play some tight end. He's probably still gonna be on the defensive line. I would assume they're probably gonna bump him out to the defensive end. St. John has lost 106.7 tackles in Devin the Machine Mercilliot, and somebody is gonna have to take over that role on the defense.
I don't know that one person can.
I don't think that one person can, but I do think that Vin Narducci stands the best chance at taking the lion's share of of those tackles.
Yeah.
He's a great athlete, a multi-sport athlete there for the St. John Heralds too. If you see him on the basketball court, he's going to give you buckets. So, keep your eyes out on Vin Narducci. He's a young guy. He's going to get some big-time minutes and be a big-time role for the St. John Heralds this year, transitioning from offensive line to tight end, maybe even some halfback, depending on the type of offense that they run this year. But he's definitely going to be a guy you want to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, I'll be interested. St. John struggled with the run game last year, so I'm really hoping
they did 570 yards total last year, and that's something that they're definitely going to work on this year. But and that is a very small number when it comes to rushing, but you got to take into account, they threw for over 1,400 yards. So they did throw the ball quite a bit, and, God bless them. Jeff Watson took that snap on the run about 60% of the time because the line was just trying to get together a little bit more last year, and hopefully that's not what they're going to be dealing with this year. But I think with the addition of guys like Donald Crawford, they got another guy named Milo Twining who's going to be coming and probably playing some offensive line. Just great size. This is an 8th grade class, or excuse me, a freshman class now, but the class from the 8th grade, these guys, most of these kids played junior high football for St. John, which is something that is not normal there because they didn't have a team.
Then they had I do believe that 8th grade class, well, the middle school, I should say, had a winning record over there. If I recall, I don't know.
I don't know if they had a winning record. I know they won some football games.
Right.
But win, loss, or draw, these kids actually played football. And one of the things that any high school coach will tell you is if you're teaching freshmen how to do fundamentals, you're already a year behind.
Yeah. I think it's more than a year. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when Vin Narducci, one of the ones to keep an eye on. He's just a great athlete, and I think he is going to make a difference for this St. John Heralds team. And going from one sophomore, we're going to move right over to another, and that's Will Anderson. Big Willie style, folks. Keep your eyes on Will Anderson. This guy is one of the truest athletes out here. He is a dominant baseball player. He's a great basketball player. Last year, his football gets hampered by injury a little bit, but this is a guy that they're going to be able to slap right at corner. He's going to be able to shut people down, and he's a competitor. You cannot teach a kid to not, accept being beat. You cannot teach a kid to want to be the best out there, and that's what he's got. Will Anderson is one of those guys that I think wherever St. John puts him this year, he's going to make a difference. So whether he's playing wide receiver and defensive back, whether he's playing halfback, defensive back, you could throw him at linebacker. I don't think it'd be crazy to throw him at defensive end. Probably not a nose tackle, but
no.
But you know what I mean? He's got enough athleticism that he's going to make a difference wherever he's at for the St. John Heralds. And as a sophomore, he is going to, it's year 2 of football for him. So,
right. Well, like you said, he had a football injury. He had 12 and a half tackles last year. But I think he only played like 4 games.
Yeah, because he got injured and pretty much held him out.
Right, for the entire 2022 season. And just moving from freshman to sophomore, you learn a lot. You grow a lot, like mentally and physically. These kids grow, get bigger, get stronger, get tougher, mentally and physically across the board. So it's going to be fun to watch him grow, and we're going to be watching basically for the next 3 years playing football and see where he comes.
Yeah, that's the one thing Coach Delgosh does have at St. John is he's got a program that he's going to be able to mold. He's got some young guys that he's going to have for the next couple years, and be able to get St. John ready for football. What a great thing that will be. People don't realize St. John is they're a state championship level team, in historically. So it'll be great to see the Heralds, and I just realized it says Lakeside Dragons on the top of that.
Too late now, isn't it?
We'll get that fixed later, but it'll be great to see the Heralds getting back to some of that football glory, if you will. But yeah, look for Will Anderson to be a big part of that. And we talked about a freshman, we talked about 2 sophomores.
Yeah,
there is one veteran, and that you got to keep your eye on, and that's Jimmy Severino. Jimmy Severino has been a factor for this team all 4 of his football years.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch a veteran come back. Obviously having a senior leadership role on that team is going to be a big deal for the Heralds. Last year, 130 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns and 11 tackles on the defensive side of the ball. So obviously, like most kids on St. John, he's playing a little Iron Man football, going back and forth, having a little bit of fun. But moving up to a senior year, there's going to be high expectations for him. There's no other way to put it.
Absolutely.
High expectations from that young man to help lead his team to get better than 0-10. That's just really what it comes down to.
If you're playing on a Division 7 team and you're not playing Iron Man, then you should probably keep playing because you got to get better. Because if you're on a Division 7 team and you're really good, you're playing both sides of the ball, and you probably kick the field goals too. But Jimmy Severino is somebody, on the defensive side, he is able to, cover very skilled receivers. He's not afraid of contact. He's going to go out there, make some tackles. He's great run support type of corner. But on the wide receiver end, he's very slippery, and he finds his way. He's great in space. He's able to make, catches and able to. He's a great blocker. Right. For a wide receiver, too.
A lot of it, his success is going to depend on the offensive line.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this. One of the biggest, struggle buses St. John had last year was the offensive line. There's no other way to put it. And hopefully Donald Crawford comes in. He's the anchor down there and really, really projecting those guys in the right direction. But for him to take 130 receiving yards and make it 500, that quarterback's going to need a little time in the backfield.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know that the receiving numbers are going to improve on him, and that's only because I think their offense is going to change. But he is the type of athlete that is going to be able to run jet sweeps, stuff like that. I think he's going to make a difference. I think on defense, guys are going to look to him. Especially the guys in the defensive backfield, because let's be real. St. John's going to have some young guys in the defensive backfield too, and if you're an offensive coordinator seeing freshmen out there and you're not throwing at them, you're probably not going to be in your job very long.
Right. One of the hardest, not hard, I shouldn't say the hardest, but one of the things at St. John, you have to be an athlete across the board.
Yes, you do.
Even if you are the right guard, you might have to be, you might have to play linebacker, which would be, in most schools that's kind of an oddity, but you have to be an athlete over at that school.
I mean, you look back to guys like David DeSalvatore who go from tight end punter, defensive end linebacker, and then due to injury, wide receiver, and then due to injury, plays quarterback as well. Right. So you really got to be an Iron Man over at St. John. But they are the beauty is they are creating Iron Man. They are creating football players. Look for St. John to make some noise this year. We're going to talk about 3 of their key games.
All right, so first key game is going to be Wyndham, which I guess I think they play them twice this year. But is that Wyndham that they play twice?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right,
There's reasons I don't like them. I don't like to talk about it very much, but there's reason. But key game is going to be Wyndham. That's a tough one. Wyndham's got a running back, and I do believe he's coming back again.
Yeah, so if this kid, Mickey, I can't remember. Right. We heard his name pronounced 3 different ways last year. If he's back, it's a tall order. If he is not back, then St. John absolutely has everything to get them because one of the cool things when we watched that game last year, St. John's in that football game until he comes late. He comes late into the game.
Right.
He shows up late to the game, and he was like Deion Sanders showing up to the combine. Shows up late, 3 touchdowns, see ya. Yeah. Back to Wyndham we go. Right. But I think that's going to be a tough game for them. So with them in the NAC, that's where these key games are coming from. Their NAC matchups are what are going to matter, and these are the ones they're going to have to focus on.
Yeah.
So talking about Wyndham, that's one NAC matchup, and they got another one from a perennial powerhouse. And I love the fact that we can call them that and call them that accurately, and that is the Pymatuning Valley Lakers.
Yeah.
If you are going to turn your program around, you are going to have to beat your county counterpart. And the PV Lakers aren't giving that spot up willingly. They are going to give you everything you got, and that's why the final score last year 41-0. But about 3 or 4 years ago, that score was basically flipped. So that this could be something where maybe we're creating a rivalry trophy for them too, because this could be something that becomes a really big rivalry right here in the county. So PV going to be their second key game.
Yeah, PV's that's a tough opponent. They really are. They always one thing with PV, they always find a way. They always. I mean, I think I referenced it last night talking to you. It's just win, baby.
Yeah.
Al Davis type speech going on. They find a way to win. They grind it out and they do their thing. But PV's a tough opponent for St. John. But last but not least, is going to be, the arch rivals, the bitter folks from, I guess,
Fairport Harding.
Yeah.
Although I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure I called them Fairport Harbor. I thought the team was called, or the school was called Fairport Harbor the entire time we were in school.
Yes.
But apparently
No
it's
question
Harding.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Warren J. Harding.
Right.
So apparently Warren, He left Warren and came up to Fairport for a little bit. But
listen, just so everyone knows, we weren't wrong. They were wrong.
Always, without a doubt.
Right.
But no, listen, there's not much that can be said there. It's senior night, October 14th. They are going to play Fairport twice at the end of the year, but they got to beat Fairport. That's a key game, and that we're not telling you guys anything that Coach Delgosh isn't nailing into their head right now. You don't want to lose to the guys in maroon ever, 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 and you definitely don't want to lose to the guys in maroon at home on your senior night. So that's going to be a key game. You know, if they can win those 3 games, you know, it's really going to be a great season. But, you know, these 3 games are definitely ones that they need to focus in on. Mainly, I think if I'm picking one out of the 3 that they really have to put all their effort into, it's probably going to be Fairport.
Yeah, I mean, that's what being part of that school, that's what they talk about.
Yeah.
That's, you know, they want to get Fairport. If there's any school they want to get Fairport. But you got to be ready, locked, loaded, ready to roll. But I'm excited to see the Heralds this year. Like Sammy said, rumblings of a potential new offense being installed. We don't know for sure yet, or I think we do, but we're trying
I can tell
not
you this.
to say for sure.
They are going to run the ball a lot more than they did last year, and I'm here for
the way
it.
you're saying it says it's happening.
It's
but
happening, buddy.
We're not trying to say exactly what it is. We don't want to show the whole, 5-card hand here. You know, just 2, maybe just 2. So. But, yeah, that kind of wraps it up for St. John. I'm really excited to see the Heralds. You know, obviously an 0-10 season, the only thing you can do is get better at this point. And I really think they have the potential to do it, and I'm very excited to watch it and see what they come up with this year. And it's going to be interesting. They play a lot more on Friday nights, too.
They do.
Not
so
your
they've only
Saturday games.
No, they've only got 2 Saturday games this year. We're going to be covering one for sure, and that's against Wyndham.
Right.
And the other time we're going to be covering St. John is going to be a home game versus PV.
Yeah.
So, those are 2 games that you're going to get to see right here on 440 and Goal. So make sure you don't miss those. But I think we talked enough about St. John. It's time to talk about the Dragons.
Let me flip it over to that. Let's see if this is Heralds at the top. Nope. It doesn't.
That's the accurate one there, boss.
Right. All right, so the Dragons they're coming off, as most of you guys know, that watching and following the Dragons, a 5-5 year. Regular season was a 5-4 year. Their 5th loss is going to be their playoff run against Hoban.
Nope.
Or not
Hudson.
Hudson, I'm sorry. I knew that. It's even typed there on the bottom left-hand corner of everyone's screen, including mine at this moment in time. Lakeside, it's going to be a very interesting year. One of the key things this year is going to be, for me, is quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, the quarterback, Siebenek out there doing his thing last year. Tall kid, lengthy kid. Really did a great job leading the Dragons.
They left 1,000. So they watched 1,000 yards last year in the air. They watched 1,000 yards accept his diploma. And, want to send him a big shout out. I'm sorry, is it 1,100? No, it's 1,049. Send him a big shout out because the big man, Garrett Siebenek, going to go play some football over at Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's right. You told me that.
Got a chance to catch up with him not too long ago, and he's going to be playing some quarterback at Edinburgh. And they really got a heck of a guy there because he's huge, and he's getting bigger, and his arm is huge, and I really think the sky is the limit for Siebenek.
I know we won't go too crazy. Because obviously we're talking about this upcoming year, but he's your what would be, I would guess, your prototypical quarterback.
Yes.
6'4", 6'5",
he
lengthy
is
arms, big hands.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon on him.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs like Buzz would, but you know what I mean? But he just looks like a quarterback.
He's a guy who can sling the pigskin. That's all that can. You can't take any of that away from him. Last year, he's not afraid to make the throws, and he's only going to get better when he's in college. I'm really excited to see what's going to go on with Siebenek. I told him make sure he checks in with us because I think he's going to go out there and make a lot more noise than people realize because Siebenek was a heck of a quarterback. But with that being said, like you were saying,
we'll talk about the guys that are still playing for the Dragons.
Yeah, coming into this year, there is a question at quarterback for the Lakeside Dragons. They've got some guys who are going to compete for the job, and I think a lot of people are going to fall right back into is, well, you don't need a quarterback when you rush for 3,000 yards a year. You know what I mean? 833 for Elijah.
927 for Sanders.
And then Rafa, who on any other team probably would have been 1,000-yard rusher.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean?
They had the three-headed monster last year. We talked about that, not endlessly, but enough. I can tell you that, yeah.
Yeah, so they got the three-headed monster last year, but unfortunately, guess what? 2 of those heads are gone. Now you got Jay Sean Sanders, who's coming back, and he's going to take up the bulk of the carries, which we're going to talk about him in just a little bit. So, you know what I mean? Those are some of the things with Lakeside that you got to wonder. It's quarterback. Defense is always a question for every team. What are you doing on defense? Are you going to be able to, hunker down and keep teams off the board?
Yeah.
They lost a guy in Anthony Donahue who is one of the best defensive ends out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Junior Valeriano was an absolute monster.
Yeah, he did a great job for the
Morgan
Dragons.
Bish was, a third-team All-Ohio guy. There's guys. They lost some guys last year. There were some real difference makers that graduated from the Lakeside Dragons last year. And, I don't know if this is there, but I know I've heard it. Next man up. It's next man up now. You got to go out there. And
Junior and Morgan Bish last year combined for right at actually 101 tackles themselves, and then 10 TFLs for Bish, 4 TFLs for Junior, and the big number here that's going to be a tough one to come back on is that one right there, Sam, at 6.5 sacks on last year. That's a tough cookie.
That is 6.5 sacks is a lot. And then, we're talking about defense and we're doing all this, but, you can't talk about Lakeside graduating seniors without talking about the reigning defending county player of the year, and that's Big Sam Petros,
right.
Who took his talents over to Mercyhurst, and boy, did they get themselves a guy.
A handful.
Yeah, he's probably as big as this shelf behind me. I mean, he's a monster of a human being, strong as an absolute ox. Was the anchor of that offensive line, the best offensive line in Ashtabula County last year. They lose him.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Ryan, they think, if I get proved wrong, I hope I do. If not, then I was right.
Don't care.
All right. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Lakeside Dragons still have the best offensive line in Ashtabula County.
That's because they have one of the best offensive line coaches.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. If I'm building an offensive line, there's a guy by the name of Buzz Edwards. I want him building the line for me.
Right.
But so let's start talking about their 4 players to watch after we've talked about everything else, starting with the offensive lineman, and that is Randy Valeriano. Randy Valeriano was somebody who was making a huge, huge difference on the offensive line for them last year.
Yeah, you said you talked to Buzz, and I got notes here that said that area coaches have been talking about Randy, that he is just absolutely getting a hold of dudes.
Yes.
Just getting a hold of dudes on that offensive line. I got him marked down as a 3-year starter. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that, but I know a 2-year for sure. And he played a little bit of D-line last year, but me and you talked about it. I think last year Lakeside did their best to run starting offensive line and starting defensive line. Randy only had a tackle or 2 on defense.
What a nice ability to have, where you've got one of the things that Lakeside coach Buzz Edwards focused in on last year was trying to make his offensive line one way. Those guys played one side of the ball. And because of that, they remained fresh. And because of that, they rushed for I think 14,000 yards last year. Yep. So, you know what I mean? They rushed for a ridiculous amount last year. And it's because they've got offensive linemen that are able to do their job, take a breath, take some water, go back out there, and make it happen every play.
But that happened why? Because of the offensive line.
It's because of the offensive line.
Those
so
1,500, I don't know, 2,000 yards collectively because of the
not to mention the passing as well. But Randy Valeriano is somebody that not just at Lakeside, coaches around the area know about this kid. He is super strong. He is a prototypical lineman. He is going to pancake people like nobody's business this year. He is uber aggressive.
Jay Sean's running behind him.
He wants all the smoke, and that's what it's coming down to. Randy Valeriano wants your best defensive lineman on him every game because he's going to put him on his butt. And you can't teach kids to be that confident. He is a great kid as well off the field.
Very nice young man. I know. Hopefully one day we'll be able to start counting pancakes as statistics at the high school level.
Coaches, if you count pancakes this year,
everything that's holy.
Yeah, if you guys take the stats for pancakes this year, we will report them.
I promise you.
Yes.
I promise you they'll be out there.
But, yeah, Randy Valeriano, he's going to be the anchor of Ashtabula County's best offensive line this year. And running behind that line this year is going to be the man, the myth, the legend. That is Jay Sean Sanders, 2,832 career rushing yards coming into his senior year. He is the Lakeside Dragons' all-time leading rusher, passing up Josh Cooper. Which,
yeah, that's a stat that I don't believe a lot of people know about that really needs to get recognized.
Yes.
You know, and that's the era, that's the playoff football era of Josh Cooper.
Yes, sir.
Too. That's
yes,
the
sir. And that's
01,
the
02, 03.
That's the 65 to 70% run era of football.
Yes, it is.
You know, with Josh Cooper. Jayshawn Sanders is a bowling ball, folks.
And just so everyone knows, the argument that Josh Cooper only played 2 quarters most of his life, I don't care about that.
No, Jayshawn Sanders, he's very difficult to take down. He is strong as an ox. His footwork has improved. He's not the fastest guy out there, but guess what? He doesn't have to be. He reminds me very much of guys like Deuce Staley, Jerome Bettis.
Yeah. They just bulldoze you.
Yeah, they get out there. They make it happen. He's worked on his hands, being able to catch the ball. He is a fearsome blocker.
Right.
He is a nasty, nasty blocker. So Jayshawn Sanders, because he does all that, he ends up on the defensive side of the ball as well.
I was just going to say, we could go on for the next 45 minutes talking about Jayshawn and his offense, but let's talk about defense. 69 tackles, 4 TFLs. I mean, that's a massive amount running both ways playing Ironman football. I mean, it just, to be able to do that, you're producing on both sides of the ball. What more athleticism do you want from a high school football kid?
Yeah, and, you know, so with him this year, and that is one of the things you have to wonder with is what, you know, not conditioning because of who he is, but when you're going to run that hard on defense, are you going to be able to take on the brunt of the carries on offense? And I think he can.
Yeah.
Now, he is going to have some help. I think they've got a guy behind him by the name of Nate Bartone. If you remember him from a couple years, from a couple years ago,
another bowling ball,
very, very similar type of running back that's coming behind him, who's going to share some of the carries as well there at Lakeside. So look for them to be, you know, a two running back system. Jayshawn Sanders is going to send shivers down people's spines. He's a bad man, folks. Jayshawn Sanders is a bad, and good luck tackling him because he runs with a low center of gravity, and he runs hard, and he is I would call him a violent runner. Yeah. He wants that impact.
It reminds me of Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
If you watch Kareem Hunt run for the Browns, he just sends it.
Yeah.
It's
just go at it right now.
You're pushing the R trigger on the Xbox controller at all times.
Absolutely.
It never stops. So yeah, good. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch him. He is a senior this year, so this will be his last year, but it is his final year to be able to make that 2,832 yards untouchable for Lakeside.
I think it's a safe bet to say he ends the year with, you know, he's going to end his career with at least 4,000 yards.
That's close.
You know, that's just under 1,200 yards for the year.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he can definitely get that. I think that's within his wheelhouse this year. You know, assuming, you know, he does everything he has been doing. Jayshawn Sanders, look out for him when the Lakeside Dragons are in town.
Yep. All right. Next on the docket here, third. Well, again, we put numbers, but it means nothing. But is going to be wide receiver Malachi Matlock. Last season for the Dragons, he's going to have 23 receptions at 387 yards. But the big number for me here is the receiving touchdowns at 6. That's a lot of touchdowns for one young man on a high school football field. And another Ironman kid playing defensive back over there, too, at 19.5 tackles. What else can you say about the kid? He's really running up and down the field both ways, doing whatever he can to make the Dragons as successful as they can.
So as far as the combine numbers say, Malachi Matlock is the fastest kid in the county. Malachi Matlock is the fastest kid in the county. He is a football speed guy.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not really built like you would think when you think of speed either, because he's not extremely frail or thin, or you know what I mean. He's got a nice base, a good muscular body. This is a kid who makes plays constantly. If a defensive back makes one mistake, Malachi Matlock is gone. So as long as you have a quarterback that's going to be able to get it to him and lead him, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to him. He's a guy who I believe returned a kickoff return against Brush last year, which really had Brush.
I think you're right.
I think he did. I think he was a kickoff return.
This stuff,
he's a kickoff return, and the beginning that Brush game, even though it goes 41-20, is a lot closer than that score actually leads. And I know we say that all the time, and people say that all the time. It truly is. That game was very much in the grasp of the Dragons last year until Brush opens it up at the end of the game.
Wasn't it a Lakeside fumble, and Brush recovers on like the 20 and scores to put it up to that 40?
Yeah, it
one.
was something along
like
those
that.
lines.
Yeah,
but I do know that Malachi Matlock is one who he's going to make a difference on special teams, and he's going to make a difference on offense. Defensively, he's going to play some corner because if you're a great athlete, you're going to play both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But I think offensively, Malachi Matlock is somebody you're going to have to keep your eyes on if you're playing against Lakeside this year because he is so fast, and you can't teach a kid to be that athletic. And I just want to put it out there. He ran those times at the Combine this year with 2 bad starts. 2 bad starts in the 40, and he still wins the 40-yard dash. Malachi Matlock is just a phenomenal athlete. I really can't wait to watch him this year. And we are going to have a lot of Lakeside this year because we're going to be covering them as they go against the Edgewood Warriors, against the Geneva Eagles, and against another. I think maybe one other team, potentially Perry.
But yeah, whatever it may be. Yes, but yeah, I mean, Matlock, it's going to be fun to watch him. But like you said, that Brush game was a tough one. But we will get into those key games towards the end of the show, I guess, because that will be about the last thing we talk about, I do believe.
Yeah.
So rolling right into last but not least there for the Dragons is going to be senior wide receiver defensive back.
Yeah, that should be junior, I believe.
What?
He's a junior.
Oh, is
That's
it?
a
I'm
mistake.
sorry.
Yep.
Okay, well, junior wide receiver defensive back, Jimmy Timoneer, coming in this year. Let's see. Make sure that's got to be a mistake, right? I don't know. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I had on here that he had all of 38.5 yards receiving.
No,
that
no,
does
he
not
had
make
quite
any
a
sense.
bit more than that.
Yeah, my notes were wrong. Look at that. We're both wrong at the same time. But Timoneer last year with 228 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Another big. I mean, the way you win games with touchdowns.
Absolutely.
So between those 2 guys, you're talking about 9 touchdowns on the season just between those 2 guys. So, and then coming up big on the defensive side as well with 16 tackles. It's going to be fun to watch that junior, not senior, come into this year and see what he can do to help the Dragons.
So Jimmy Timoneer he's a great example of baptism by fire, baby. He comes in as a freshman. They put him back there at free safety. He's making big plays as a freshman. Coming into sophomore year, they move him up to defensive back, and they're throwing right at him every single game. And then obviously going into his junior year, he's going to maintain that defensive backfield position. But what I want to talk about with Jimmy is his ability on offense. As a slot receiver, he is going to be an absolute terror for some of these corners because he can jump. He can jump really, really well. So Jimmy Timoneer, he is a kid who is aggressive. He's got great hands. He's going to be a guy who runs a great route, and people are going to underestimate him because he's not. I wouldn't call him the fastest guy you see out there.
Right.
But he doesn't have to be fast to moss you in the end zone.
Yeah.
All right, and he can jump up and get it. And this because he's another one, multi-sport athlete, folks. Multi-sport athlete. This is a kid who's going to be out there on the basketball court as well, making a difference for the Lakeside Dragons. Jimmy Timoneer is somebody that is going to make a difference on offense all year for the Dragons.
Yeah, I do want to make a quick. I figured out what my 38.5 receiving yards. It's actually 38.5 tackles. So
okay.
Definitely a big defensive presence over there, especially as a defensive back.
He's a good
he's getting all over the field.
Yeah, he's a good run support
right.
guy. He's a good run support guy, but he tracks the ball very, very well on the defensive back. As a defensive back, as a free safety or a strong safety, he was really, really great when he was out there. It took him, it looks like he had a little bit of a year to kind of get acquainted to becoming a corner instead of that safety.
Yep.
But as a corner, as a defensive back, he is really above average. But I think offensively this year he is going to make a big difference. They're losing guys on at wide receiver, and it's not an incredibly deep wide receiving core at Lakeside this year. They're going to have some guys that can catch the ball, and again, like we said. We don't know what's going on at quarterback right now. It's up in the air. There's a controversy. Are they going to be throwing the ball a lot, or are they going to go back to old, 2021 Lakeside football where we're just going to run it up your throat and take what what we can get? But it'll be really interesting. I do know this: Jimmy Timoneer will be playing a part in whatever success they have.
Yeah, and then I am interested. There's a couple of kids I want to shout out here that they didn't make the list, but I want to make sure I put them out there because I think it's well worth it. Defensive back Anthony Colazzo. I think he's going to play a pivotal role in that defensive side of the ball this year. Last year, 28.5 tackles. Let me make sure I get And then one big thing too, though, one other way that you can help on defense to win games more than anything.
The interception, baby.
Picks. He
Yep.
had 2 picks last year. So I guess 4A maybe we'll go that route.
Yeah, no,
Colazzo's a great kid, and he's very he's fiery.
He is.
Fiery.
Colazzo is probably going to be their best tackler on defense this year. He's a kid who fears absolutely nobody. He had 2 interceptions, and that on a team that really didn't intercept the ball last year.
Nope.
So he is going to make a huge difference on defense. And I think you can look for him to really focus his efforts on defense, and Lakeside should unleash him this year.
Yeah, I'd say the only other statistic, kid with a interception was Elijah Jefferson with 1. So only 3 interceptions, quite a few turnover or fumble recoveries. They got 4 there collectively as a team. So, but that's just another one, honorable mention. Is what I wanted to say. I think he's going to be a great asset to that defense over there, and I'm very excited to watch him play this year.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to talk about that offensive line as a whole.
Yeah.
That offensive line as a whole is going to make a difference. Hassani Sai coming back, Gavin Petros coming back, Gavin Grant coming back.
You're finally coming to the dark side and realizing
Grayson
that
Petros coming back.
the offensive line is the most important thing.
When
on
you
the
talk
football
about
field.
Lakeside, you better know those offensive linemen. I'm telling you what, because they are. It's a dominant group out there. So that's really going to open it up. I'm really, really interested to see how this quarterback thing's going to go. I think that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some key games with the Lakeside Dragons.
Yeah. So going into it, as Sammy talked about earlier, they're going to open up just like last year against Brush. They do take a 41-20 loss, but man, was that game close. Because I can't remember who we were covering, but we were trying to talk about it in between when we got a break.
Yeah.
That is going to be a key one. And like we've talked about before, leading up to this season, I'm going to save that for the end. I don't want to go crazy. I'm going to wait till the end right here, and then we'll go into it. You know where I'm going with it. But Brush is going to be a really big game. It's a point-getting game for Lakeside, too, for playoffs.
Yeah, because they're D2.
Yep,
they are
D2,
Division 2. So
it's a good opportunity to get points for them. But Brush is a tough squad, as they proved last year.
Yeah, and they Brush along with Eastlake North are going to be 2 games that they're going to get the most points from. But Brush, you got to get it right from the gate.
Yep.
It's hard to go out there and lose that first game and maintain. It doesn't end your season, but it's very hard to get momentum going. They're going to have to go to Lyndhurst, and they're going to have to beat Brush this year. That's all there is to it. I think that anybody who played in that game last year knows that they let one slip through their fingers, and that has to taste like vinegar to those kids right now. Because had they beat Brush, they probably wouldn't have had to play Hudson.
Yeah, right. It would have pushed them up.
Yeah, they would have had a much better matchup in the playoffs. So if you're a Lakeside Dragon, I know that I've seen on Coach Edwards' Facebook the dry race board, and it's how many days to Brush. He shouldn't be the only one tracking that. If you're not getting ready for Brush, then you're going to get left behind. If the Lakeside Dragons go out and beat Brush week 1. Man, oh man, this could be a special season.
Flipping it.
Yes. This
Flipping
is a special
it. It's going to be it's going to make it very difficult. I mean, week 1, you get Brush week 1. I won't say guaranteed playoff spot, but I'd lock you in around 80% chance of a playoff spot.
If they go out and they beat Brush this year in week 1, outside of Kirtland, I don't know that Lakeside is not going to be at least considered to be a favorite or in the game against any team they play.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's every game they'll be in, they're going to be considered. I mean,
yes.
They might be the underdog in a couple of them like Kirtland, but they're going to come out and give them heck. That's for
There
sure.
is not a single game on the schedule, if they go out and beat Brush, that I think it's outside of the realm of possibility for the Lakeside Dragons to win. But they got to beat Brush. They have to beat Brush.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, and as everybody knows, this is one of the bigger games, too.
The War for 84, baby.
Are we changing it officially?
We're changing it.
All
That's
right.
what it's going to be.
All right, we're going to change it to the War for 84. Them Geneva Eagles on the 9th of September. Lakeside's going to take on over there at the Spire last year coming in and really taking it to Geneva. But that is a big in-county matchup. That's going to be a fun one. Very exciting game to watch. Lakeside winning that game last year 42-7, but that was their first win against Geneva in, wasn't it a decade?
It was 12 years.
12 years, yeah.
12 years was the first time that they had beat them in 12 years, and the Lakeside Dragons got busy.
Yeah, yeah.
They went out. They did. I mean, it was those guys. The Dragons played with their hair on fire in that game, and that's the key to Lakeside this year. If they believe in themselves, once they start playing well, they are a hard team to stop because they are loaded with talent. Yeah. But they are going to have to go. So they beat Geneva at home. They're at Lakeside last year, beat them for the first time in 12 years. The Geneva Eagles are salivating to take that victory right back and as well take that trophy. Right. The war for 84 trophy that's sitting in Lakeside's locker room right now. They are looking to take that back to Geneva, and Lakeside is going to have to fight tooth and nail to keep it.
Yeah, they are. And then finally, last but not least.
It doesn't matter what the records are, folks. This is going to be a key game for them.
It could be both 0-9 going into this game. It does not matter. This is going to be the battle for the bridge, one of the hottest matches typically on a yearly basis. Walmart, I would say Walmart just about shuts down. If you don't like football and you like Walmart, that is the best time to go shopping that Friday night, which is going to be 10-21 versus Edgewood. But Lakeside will be at home this year.
Yes, they will.
Taking on that game. Last year, Lakeside coming out victorious. And you want to talk about another team that came out with their hair on fire. It was Lakeside. Opening play was AJ Raffa on about a 60-yard sprint to the promised land down there at Warrior Stadium. So it's always fun for these matchups. It's a ruckus crowd, and it's rocking and rolling.
Yeah, college, the NCAA has Ohio State, Michigan, and the NFL has Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Ashtabula has Lakeside and Edgewood.
Right.
This is the game. This is the battle for the bridge. This is going to be sold out. This is going to have everybody who cares about football is going to be in the stands watching this. I have said already on a previous episode that we did when we covered Edgewood, I think this is going to be the biggest game of the year. I think that this very well could determine which one of the two teams playing, Lakeside and Edgewood, who's going to have a losing record for the year and who's going to the playoffs. Yeah. I think it's very, very likely that these teams could be playing each other with 4 and 5 records on both sides.
Right. Yeah. That's what we.
So
talked
one
about,
team gonna be going 5 and 5, potentially the other team going 4 and 6. Yeah. The 5 and 5 teams going
for the playoff bid,
to the playoffs. The 4 and 6 team is going home.
Right.
These are kids that a lot of the times grew up across 2 streets down from each other. Depending on if you live over on State Road, you could live across the street from some of these kids.
Yeah.
This is a big game. This matters. Lakeside has owned it for the last couple years.
Yeah, they have.
They have owned it for the last couple years. They come out last year and absolutely lambasted the Warriors. They got to do it at home now this year. They do go over to Edgewood and get it done last year. They're going to be at home, so they've got that going for them. But, this is, the Edgewood, make no mistake, man, that Edgewood Warriors program is rebuilding, and there are some athletes over there, and this game is going to be anything but a gimme. Lakeside can't overlook them. I don't think they will be overlooking them. And
I don't think, you can't.
Lakeside is the type of team when they can taste blood in the water, and if they got that playoff smell, boy, is it going to be hard for the Edgewood Warriors to beat Lakeside that night, and Lakeside has to maintain that fire.
Yeah. Like I said, last year they came out on fire, winning against Edgewood 53-20. Pretty decisive game there, but every year you just never know what you're going to get. You really don't. You never know what you're going to get. That's why it's one of the most exciting games in the county. So stay tuned. 10-21. At Dragon Stadium over there off Sanborn Road or Route 84, depending on how you want to enter it.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the storyline for that game is going to write itself, folks. Mm-hmm. It's going to write itself. There are so many moving pieces with that. It's just going to be a fun game to watch, a fun game to cover. I really do think I think it's going to decide who's going to have a winning season and a losing season. And these teams, they don't want to lose to each other. Neither one of these teams. If you get to pick one win for the year, that's it.
Yes, right. Yeah, yep. But, well, I think that's it for the night, isn't it there,
Yeah,
Sam?
I think that's it. So next week when we come on back, we are going to be covering the Geneva Eagles and the Conneaut Spartans. Those are going to be the two teams we're going to be previewing next week. Right now, as it's the countdown to kickoff, that's
days.
pretty much what we're going to be doing. It's going to be team previews, and keep your eyes peeled as next week they're going to start padded practice.
Yeah.
So we'll be heading around to various practices and various teams.
Like we do every year, basically.
grabbing some pictures and giving you guys as much coverage as we possibly can. It's the best time of the year. I love it, folks. It's Christmas in Ohio.
Christmas in July. Well, August as well. Yeah. Yeah, so stay tuned with that. Hopefully this year we're going to get a couple more interviews while we're out on the field. Maybe we can steal the coaches away a couple times. You never know. See where that one goes. But if not, some still imagery just to check them out. It's always fun to watch these kids developing and get moving through the football season. Again, next week, come back with us. Sorry. I don't know who Lakeside scrimmage in this year.
It's Cleveland Heights.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
Or I'm sorry, Shaker Heights.
Shaker
Heights.
But don't forget, like Sam said, next week's preview is Geneva and Conneaut. I'll be very excited to talk about those two squads. New head coach for the Eagles.
Geneva Eagles going to be taking over.
Veteran, wily old vet out there in Canute.
Yeah, the Geneva Eagles going to be taken over by Don Shimsky, taking over as the head coach. And like you said, the most veteran coach in the area.
Yep.
And that's Rocco's Modern Life, Rocco Dobrin.
Oh, golly. All right, guys, don't forget on Facebook at this point, if you could just like the stream, follow us, because they changed it to follow on Facebook now.
Listen, if we're there, like it, whatever buttons there are,
Bing
push 'em.
bongs, just send it. Yeah.
That's right,
YouTube,
baby.
subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when we go live. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Ryan with my partner, Sam, the voice of 440 Goal. Appreciate you guys coming. See you next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Should be at least, unless Sammy posts something out that it's a little bit different. So.
It's on. See you soon. Love, peace, and chicken grease.